Hey FANVERSATION, I'm Yael Tygiel, the big host for the big fans. I'm sitting down with the cast and crew of TheArk, a brand new series on SYFY premiering February 1st. Dean, Jonathan, this is the second time that you have worked together on a show, the first being The Outpost. Dean, I will start with you. What is it about Jonathan that made you want to work with him again?
I had never done serialized television before. Everything I had done in television was always episodic, with some larger arcs, but very episodic. And when Jonathan and I worked together on The Outpost, I was so amazed at his ability to make me think the story was going one way and then suddenly make this great turn that surprised me, and to make these characters so engaging. So I knew The Ark was going to be serialized, and since John and I both have an experience with Stargate, I thought, this would be the first time that he and I actually paired up to do science fiction. And I thought, man, this could be a lot of fun, and it sure has been.
Love that. And John, what do you enjoy about working with Dean?
Well, what's interesting about Dean, who would have known this, 10 years ago, but we're the same person. I mean, we have very, very similar taste in kind of everything. I mean, in obviously in storytelling and in actors, we rarely disagree on any of it. And so I've started to feel a little bit like I can read his mind, and I'll be in the writer's room and I'll say, Dean's going to hate this. We're not going to do this. That kind of thing.
I feel like you tend to cast people who are up and coming or lesser known. What are some of the challenges of a fresh cast, and what are some of the benefits?
In this case, we had to cast up and comers because it's supposed to be the young people on the crew who are left. But it also, I think, gives you an advantage because the audience doesn't know who the star is who can't die. Do you know what I mean? Yes. And so in terms of storytelling, that's a great thing to have up your sleeve, because anybody can die on the show. Also, it's to answer your question though, I think it's gambling, because no matter how great they are in the audition, I've dealt with many a time where once they get on set, the actors are terrible. And, they obviously were just coached up the wazoo just for that one little piece they had to do for the audition. But in this case, it didn't happen at all. And every single one of them, we really scored. Every single one of them are amazing. So.
And I can tell you, before the first day of shooting, we were both like, oh my God, I hope this works. I hope this works. And as soon as they opened their mouths, we realized we had lucked in to a group that really were egoless. And when you have actors who are egoless, then they're just really focusing on the characters. And it's not about who had a bigger trailer or who got more lines. It was all about the work. And they bonded together. I think part of the advantage of being in Serbia was like being in outer space. They were away from their families, they were away from their friends, and they really only had each other. And they developed these relationships off camera that really fed into the relationships we saw on camera.